Well, Steve, Wednesday's game against Birmingham City will be the first one since the sad passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth. How important is it that football pays its respects?
Oh, and it will. I'm sure of that. It will. I mean, football fans they're a huge part of the community out there, which is, like all of us, saddened by what's happened over the last couple of days from everybody here. We send our condolences to the royal family, and of course, I've had the pleasure to meet the Queen only very, very briefly. The photograph still to this day hangs in our house as pride of place. I was a kid when I was growing up. My mum was a fierce royalist from Northern Ireland, so there's only, she adored the Queen. But I think I've never seen my wife cry so much at images of what we've witnessed over the last few days. So football will pay its respects. I'm convinced of that, and rightly so.
Am I right in saying as well that you've met His Majesty King Charles?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was through football, and it's brief, and I believe it was the 1985 FA Cup final where we got beat. So the King wasn't much look to us, but it's one of those moments where you have the photograph too, and when you're an old codger like I am now, you look back at it and think, wow, he's the King of England. And I've met him, and William I've met too, so through football, great memories.
Back to the football, Steve, and it's been quite a busy period off the pitch. We've brought in Tom Rogic, a player with vast experience from Celtic in his decade there. What will he add to your squad, and what's his fitness like?
Well, the fitness levels have got to improve, because he's obviously done a little bit, but not as much as he would like to, so we always knew that was against us. In terms of his quality, look, you don't play 10 years at a club like Celtic and play 300 times if you haven't got something about you. And we're delighted we've got him, a current international. In the start of the window, we thought it was never going to be possible. Towards the end of the window, it became possible, which we're delighted about. We've got a really, really good player on our hands. Really good footballer who will add to the group. I do believe in the midfield areas we're a little bit short, so him coming in is terrific for us.
In terms of where we are in the season now, Steve, is this a good time for Tom to come in, because we've got 2 games before the break, and then you've got 2 weeks where you can work with him?
I think that's important. I think that's important that we get him up to speed as best we can. We get the best of fitness levels that we can get into him, and give him a chance for when he does start. So yeah, he'll start really after the international break, and then hopefully we've got him up to speed very, very quickly.
Yeah, owing to the situation with the passing of the Queen, Steve, you've had over a week and a half to prepare for Wednesday's game against Birmingham. By Championship standards, that's pretty much unheard of, isn't it?
I mean, obviously everything was prepared for the weekend, and what happened at the weekend, and the cancellation of that game is give us time to reflect, give us that little bit of a break. It'd probably be 12 days, is it, since we played, and probably everybody needed that, if I'm being brutally honest, and it does give you time to reflect on it. I believe we're close, but I'm also under no illusion that we have to turn these draws into wins. But some of the performance, what we've played, I couldn't be more pleased. How could I not? The way we played against Burnley. How could I not? The way we played against Hull. And I can reel them off, but we haven't won enough. So we have to start getting that mindset of winning. We have to stop giving away silly goals, which is hindering us at the moment. Poor goals. And get that balance right of, yes, we've been trying to create, and yes, we've been trying to score more, and I do believe we're better on the eye to go and watch, but we must defend a bit better than what we have been and stop these silly mistakes.
2 games coming up, Steve, before the break, Birmingham and Norwich City. In terms of momentum, how crucial could 2 victories be?
2 games, well, you know what back-to-back's like in this league, or in any league. On Saturday we go to Norwich, who had a stuttering start, and all of a sudden they put 3-4 results together and shot to the top of the league. So we know how crucial it is to get back-to-back victories. It's always nice to have. We've got to play at the same tempo and the same way we've been playing, and defend better a little bit, and I'm sure we're close.
I'd just like to ask you, Steve, about the fitness of some of our players. Daryl Dike, Shemi Ajayi, Kean Bryan and Martin Kelly, who was a deadline day signing.
Yeah, I mean, well, we've said about Tom in the couple of weeks. I think the same goes with probably Martin Kelly too, because he's been out. It's a crucial time for him. Big Shemi has had an operation. We've obviously listened to specialists that have advised us that's the best way going forward. So he'll be another 6 weeks or whatever it'll be. And Kean is making big progress. We'll probably in the next week as well be out in the grass and joining in with us to a degree. So that's good news. There's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel for him, which has been desperately frustrating. So yeah, it's a big important time to try and get the ones who obviously have been injured, but also the ones who haven't done a lot of pre-season, and get them up to speed.
And Daryl Dike, Steve?
Daryl is on progress. He's on progress. He's making slow progress, but he's on schedule of what we're expecting. So we're still expecting a few weeks yet because of the severity of his muscle injury, but he's on course.